Welcome everybody to Neptune Stadium for the first of the under-20 InsureMyHouse.ie National Cup semi-finals. We have Blue Demons against Ballincollig. I'm Conor Meany and I'm joined by Paul Kelleher. Paul, a Cork derby, two teams you'll know pretty well. What should we be expecting to see here?
You know what, Conor? I'm very excited for this game. They played early November. Ballincollig won by 2. They had a 15-point lead at one point, and Blue Demons came back into it. So we're going to see two different styles. A young UCC Demons team with a lot of under-17s. Two players who played last night in the Division 1 game, the President's Cup. Matthew McCarthy and Jack O'Leary. And this is a young man you got to be aware of from the 3-point line. Ben Horgan, who's currently on the 17th national squad player. So we're going to see an awful lot of talent, Conor, and an awful lot of skills and a bit of dynamism from both teams, I think.
So it was a perfect start for Blue Demons there as they hit a 3 to start the game, take an early lead. Blount from the free throw line and a good answer from Ballincollig.
Brother of Jordan Blount, Colm, hitting that mid-range jumper early on, and that's going to be a nice matchup between Mr. Sutton and Mr. Blount in the low post and in the perimeter. So you're going to see a lot of this from Matthew getting to the rim, and you're going to see an awful lot of short corner action from UCC Demons also. So Jordan Yuka
with a lovely finish there, so it's 5-2 early on. A good defense by Ballincollig. Blount did a good job standing up there, and they're going to push the ball in transition. Tough shot, and you can hear an early shout of relax. It's under 20 level, Paul. Obviously a lot of these guys, young players, as you said, on both teams, and they haven't had an opportunity to play at this sort of level now for over a year. So a bit of nerves early on is kind of going to be par for the course, really. Yeah,
I mean, obviously the opportunity to get to Tala, playing two good venues in terms of here in Neptune Stadium, and obviously then in the Tala arena. So like that's something that both teams are definitely going to want to aspire to get to, and that's going to create some nerves obviously early for young players, you know.
So in terms of just people who may not have seen these teams, is there a player on either team that you'd be particularly looking out for, or a matchup that you particularly want to focus on?
I think it's two very talented full teams, to be perfectly honest, Conor. But the matchup here, I think obviously will be the internal one. Luke Sutton and Colin Blount, they're 2-1s really. I think that's going to be the internal battle. You know, Luke didn't play in the league game, and also two players here that are on the bench, Brendan Dwala and Kean, didn't play in the last game either. So both teams have been missing players in the league game. So they're all significant players that can have an impact in the game also. And Jack O'Leary here, there's going to be an awful lot of ball screen actions for Jack. That's the way the teams will play. Whereas Ballincollig will try and move the ball, get everybody involved, try and create some space, you know. But the defensive matchup and what really won the game for Ballincollig in the local league game was Hugh Murphy. So be aware of his defensive ability on Jack, and he'll put pressure on Jack.
Matthew McCarthy picked up that steal and drove to the basket, getting fouled. So he's going to head to the line for 2, try and extend this early Blue Demons lead. He knocks down the first to take it to 6-2.
Like, one of the things I think, if Ballincollig get into a running game and getting up and down and making a ping pong, that'll suit Demons. Whereas I think if Ballincollig are more composed, you know, they'll move the ball, they'll shift the Demons defense just like they're trying to do right now, create gaps and get everybody involved, and just like that they'll create a gap like that, and that's the way Ballincollig need to play. So two different styles, as I said early on, but I think both will try and make the other team do what they want to do and make it compose or make it control for them.
See two good coaching staffs as well, so we're expecting two well-coached teams, and Blount gets the rebound after scoring the layup on the far end. As Ballincollig come down, 3 points the difference between the two teams. Blount again puts it on the floor, tries to spin but loses control. Good help defense by Demons there. Really did a good job of crowding the paint, and it leads to a turnover, Paul.
Yeah, and like both teams have two gunner shooters. Rory O'Sullivan on Ballincollig and Ben Horgan on Demons. What Demons have done so far is they've clogged the lane. They've not let Ballincollig get in there easy to get their Pearson spray action and move the ball and stuff like that. Demons are actually giving up the 3-point line so far. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Ballincollig adapt to that, and how, if they adapt to it, how Demons react to that also.
The Pearson spray action, Paul.
You know I'm always good with the terminology.
So Demons with the ball here. Tried the elevator screen. Nothing comes from it. A good try for the basket. It's good defense, but a nice move there by Luke Sutton, who didn't force the ball, was able to elevate over the defense and finishes with a nice little short-range jump shot. Yeah,
his dad was also in that position also. A good player, played with Noel Hartigan. That nice little combination for Demons for a few years at the highest level and local league, national league. So the genetics on the court so far is top notch. Obviously Jack is cousin of Danielle and stuff like that. Matthew, his dad played at a high level with Northmont, and Ben Horgan's dad played. And then on the Ballincollig side, there's genetics obviously with Colin and his brother Jordan as well. So the genetics on the floor is quite historic, I guess, in one respect. And here are the two young lads here, Killian and Brendan, and they're going to make significant contributions here in the coming minutes.
Yeah, that's Killian O'Connell and Brendan Dulana check into the game as Hugh Murphy and Sam O'Regan take a break. Genetics wise, it's a worry for me that I'm finally seeing lads who I played with, their sons playing in these games, which is telling me that Father Time is not on my side.
And Aramis, and that's what Aramis will do now. I mean, he's probably the one major runner that Ballincollig can rely on, getting out and running and getting the easy ones when they're struggling in the half court.
That's Aramis Kremenskis with that fast break layup, as it's 9-6. Good position in the post, but good defense there by Blount. Did a good job bodying up. Didn't give anything easy. And here we see Delana pushes on the floor. Ball left behind though, and it's a turnover. So it's going to be Blue Demons ball.
Nice defense by Aramis. Killian lets it go early.
Good hand in there though. Saved back in. Delana. We're seeing a few turnovers here by both teams. A little bit scrappy. Nice extra pass. And it's a lovely finish on the break. Matthew McCarthy making that extra pass. And it's an 11-6 early lead here.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that Matthew McCarthy is completely renowned for. I mean, he will just go, and he'll bring the defense back towards him, and then that's where he needs to get a little bit better. Obviously, at times is dumping off, which he did a great job there. And then obviously you saw early on the chance just to go into brick walls, but he's a talented player in the open floor, and he's a pretty good defender too. So he's going to make a significant contribution in this game for Demons.
Jordan Uka controlled that rebound. He's done a good job on the board so far.
Yeah. And that was an action that we've seen quite a lot. And that's where Jack excels. Like, he's so crafty, so unselfish in the lane. He just finds the right person the whole time. But that's an action that we've seen a lot over the weekend from a lot of teams. The handoff into a ball screen. And that's something that's been really significant from the senior teams right all the way through that I've seen, and in the women's game yesterday as well. So obviously a big action that's coming into the Irish game this season.
There's a nice drive there by Jack O'Leary. Found Uka under the basket, just couldn't finish. So we're seeing UCC Demons in a zone here. They're giving up the three, and they end up getting the long rebound, and they're going to push it down to Matthew McCarthy. We saw a lot of zone yesterday. More zone in the Super League games than we've probably seen in a long time.
Yeah, and I suppose the question we need to ask ourselves really is, why is that? Is it the erosion, people just trying to find their rhythm? Is it people off in their shooting form, or being off the last few years and not finding it either? So our team setting themselves up to just stay in games and pounce when the time is right. So they're the things that we just need to start asking ourselves. What obviously it's a very good thing to do.
Some subs there for Demons.
Yep, Jay Gorgie coming in, another under 17 player. So Demons are quite young with a lot of under 17s. So we'll see them also in the Billy Kelly tournament at Easter.
So it's 12-6. Early lead here for Demons. As you see them sitting in the zone again. And
yep. So Rory O'Flynn is probably Ballincollig's best shooter. And I think right now they probably need to get him off the ball and get him into some shooting actions, or find a way of getting him, bring the ball up like he is, and then getting him back onto the ball to get uncontested shots. But you know, when he's hot, just like he was in the local league game, you know, he really hurt Demons from the 3-point line.
Grant again did a good job defensively there. And another 3 for Ballincollig. And this time it's good for Aramis Kreminskas. So it looks like so far Demons are going to put up that challenge to Ballincollig. Can they beat them from the outside? And Kreminskas had the answer there. Yeah,
and he hurt them as well in the local league game. You know, he I think he had like 15, 16 points early in the first half. So he was a significant contributor back then also. Nice little one-footed shot there by Jack, and that's one of his go-to moves also, is getting in the lane and stepping back onto that right foot to leave a goal for the lefty.
Kreminskas couldn't hit 2 in a row there, and Demons have the ball through McCarthy, puts it on the floor, loses it, probably a travel but got away with it, and Demons are going to still have the ball. Jack O'Leary tries to calm it down a little bit, fakes the handoff, and it ends up being a reach-in foul by Killian O'Connell. So Jack O'Leary will head to the free throw line.
You know, Matthew McCarthy getting to the line. Demons would argue that there was a deflection. Ballincollig will say he lost control himself.
As you see, Darryl Cuff checking into the game for Ben Horgan.
Yep, and another genetics son of Carlton. Young Darrell will be disappointed he doesn't have his natural number 13 like his dad.
So O'Leary knocks down the first.
And Jack goes 2 for 2, extending the lead 9-16 to UCC Demons.
A reach-in foul there by Demons as they tried to extend the pressure. Jake Orgy gets the foul. Paul, which coaching staff will be happier in terms of getting the game to be played in the way that they want it to be played? You kind of said there's 2 different styles, so who'd be the happier, aside from the scoreboard obviously, but are we playing the game in Ballincollig style or Demon style so far?
Very much Demon style. I think they'll be much happier. I don't think the Ballincollig staff will be too worried just yet. I think they know they'll find their rhythm at some point. You know, and obviously this game will be a game of runs and a game of you know, ebbs and flows. So I think Ballincollig, just like this, and Brendan, this is a spot right there, very unfortunate not to go in, but they're very much, and you see that's the first scheme of the game that Ballincollig ran, versus multiple schemes so far with stagger screens and things like that, and ball screens by Demons. So, you know, I think they really sense the urgency that they need to put the ball in the basket right now, and that's one of the reasons why they went to the scheme right there. So, you know, and I think we need to see more of Colm as well. I mean, he's very influential. You know, he started off with a mid-ranger at the beginning, and a couple of 4 shots after that. But I think they'll be fine. They're only 7 down. There's 2 minutes to go, and Ballincollig won't be too worried just yet. They'll believe they can find their offensive rhythm.
Cuff here for 3 is short, and a good job by Blount. And the box out leads to a foul by Jordan Uka, which will be his 2nd foul. So a little bit of a concern for Demons, and we're going to see Luke Sutton check back into the game for Uka there.
And that will be a concern because, you know, Colm really hurt Demons in the league game. And obviously, you know, Luke Sutton wasn't there, and they put an awful lot of pressure on Jake Orgy and Jordan Uka. So obviously losing Jordan now, who can physically match up to Colm, is a blow, and that's exactly what Brendan will do. I mean, he'll find himself up in the point guard area right there and get those pipe drives the way that he can. Yeah, nice balanced.
Yeah, lovely drive there by Dulana, left hand finish, handoff. As said, a nice pass inside. That's a beautiful find by Matthew McCarthy as he finds his big man Sutton underneath the basket.
And that's exactly where Luke will hang out. I mean, we lost them in overtime in the Broken Hall a few weeks back, and that's exactly where they found him, and he hurt us late in the game on that.
Blount with a running hook shot, 3-point play.
Yeah, and that was just the experience over. Obviously, Jake is an under 17 player, Colm is an under 20 player, but losing Jordan, you know, allowed Colm to kind of get that little bit of extra pace that he probably didn't have in the last few minutes. So we identified that when Jordan was out, Colm will probably come to the fore, and he certainly has, and that's good recognition in his experience.
So you saw the previous possession, Colm set up for kind of a mid-range jump shot. Will Ballincollig, they want him to put the ball on the floor, try and attack the basket. He's a big physical player, able to finish through contact, as we've already seen. Yeah,
it just creates the advantage. I mean, they're trying to get that advantage, which they haven't done a great job of so far. They're back to 4. They'll be much happier now. Obviously, that's only a 2-possession game.
As you see, a 3 for Demons doesn't fall, but Sutton picks up the offensive rebound. And kind of, as an unfortunate one, it was 50-50. The ball was there, but Colin Blount ends up picking up the foul.
Jack, you know, I had a wonderful time, you know, having Jack on our national team over the summer. And Jack always finds a way of just getting hit by the opposition. He just has that knack of being the guy they hit. So, and he's carrying an injury from last night. You know, he hurt his Achilles going for a loose ball himself last night. So, but very, very influential players you've seen so far.
Misses the first. Doesn't really hold that follow through. It's one of those quick releases.
Yeah, if you look at him shooting the 3 when he goes from his left hand to his right, it's a snap like that, just the way he does, and you know, that's the way he releases. Demon's adding a little bit of pressure. No second line.
Baseline drive, good. Help across though. Jack O'Leary.
What's your thoughts on that, Conor? The old kickball. I mean, a couple of years ago they took away the technical foul. You used to get a warning, then there was a technical. Now it's kind of that's gone. It's kind of lots of warnings and so on. So, you know, and Colm has really stepped into taking the game over since Jordan stepped out.
Yeah, lovely mid-range jump shot there. My thoughts on the kickball are: if in doubt, put it out. Clear your line. You can't do defensive headers, so just smash it out. But a lovely answer there. And Sutton has been a big factor in this game so far. Some nice finishes around the basket, a nice mid-range finish there as well. Yeah, I think that's 6 or 8 points that he's had so far.
He's got a nice touch, you know. You know, he's long like his dad, he's tall like his dad. But I hope his dad won't mind saying that his son Luke has a better touch.
We've got 5 seconds on the clock. Ballincollig going to have this last shot. Kaminskas, tough step back 3 though. And at the end of the first quarter in the first InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup semi-final, UCC Demons lead Ballincollig 21-16. We'll be back in just a moment. So welcome back. UC Demons leading Ballincollig 21-16. Paul, what sort of adjustments or what would you be emphasizing? What would you expect the two coaching staffs are emphasizing at the end of what was an entertaining first quarter?
I think, you know, there was a bit of frustration with Shane there. A couple of easy layups that were missed. So his focus would be just finish the opportunities that they were getting. And from a Ballincollig perspective, you know, trying to get that earlier quick pass just to kind of get Demons scrambling a little bit earlier. They've gone to a 1-3-1 now, Demons, and that's the gaps that Ballincollig were trying to get into, because they've hit some nice mid-range jumpers. So while they're finishing as McGrath at the rim, their 3 points they've actually been quite good from the mid-range. So that 1-3-1 might not be the best tactic for Demons to be in right now.
Hugh Murphy knocked that shot down as Jack O'Leary gets back to the free throw line. I think this will be his 5th and 6th free throws of the game. As you can see, Daniel O'Sullivan on the sideline for Ballincollig, telling his players they're already in good position, they don't need to swipe down the ball. It's hard though when it's right there.
You know, I mean, I think it's a coaching philosophy. No, we don't teach stealing on the ball. We try and force rainbow passes and lob passes and try and steal those ones, as opposed to try and steal on the ball. But nice finish by Matthew McCarthy and back up to a 6-point lead there, which...
Yeah, lovely finish by McCarthy. Good inside passing though, and Dulana gets the layup, but it doesn't fall, so it's a 6-point lead for Demons here early on in Neptune Stadium. The winner of this game will play the winner of KCYMS Clorgan.
And it looks like Ballincollig have gone to a 1-3-1 themselves.
We actually saw, I think, 2 teams yesterday play 1-3-1. As you see, a lovely finish there by Hugh Murphy. That's his 4th point of this quarter.
And that might be a good knowledge by Hugh, because if you ever watch Jack comes in low to try and steal. If you saw what Hugh did, he brought it over the top, so it didn't, so nice little finish there by Hugh Murphy, recognising the defender that was coming in and brought it over the top and finish at the glass. Jack
O'Leary called for a travel there, as we see Demons go back into man here, and Cuff ends up with the steal, and unfortunately a travel though. He made his decision, and the defender was exactly where he wanted to be.
I'm going to say it here, and myself and Kieran spoke about this in one of the games last night. I think that was the advantage of the Euro step. I don't think that was a travel. I think he picked it up on the Euro step, took his 2 and dished off. And as you see, Daryl said there that was 2 steps. I might be on Daryl's side right there. I think we haven't bought into the whole 0 step in Ireland yet.
The 0 step is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
What's that?
The 0 step is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. I hate it. I hate the idea of it. Just give me 2 steps.
Nice little shuffle cut action there by Ballincollig, bringing Hugh Murphy off with the last 4 points. And that's the defense we spoke about that we'll see. And he's nice little tempo. And there's Rory O'Flynn.
O'Flynn tries baseline, tries the inside pass, doesn't fall. He had Sam O'Regan underneath the basket, and we're going to have a timeout on the floor, so we'll be back. It's 24-22. UCC Demons lead Ballincollig, 7:57 to go in the 2nd quarter. So welcome back, 7:57 to go. This is the 2nd last game of the weekend here in Neptune Stadium. The winner of this game will play the winner of KCYMS and UCD Marion, who will play at 12 o'clock. Nice action there straight away, but a great effort by Sutton to get over and block the shot, and Blountdown can't hit the follow-up.
I thought the turning of the corner was really nice by Killian our key in there. You know, it was a nice little dump off. That's one other thing now. The players are so athletic now. You just have no time to just hang in the air. You gotta let it go. You know.
Look there as if there's a boxing one by Ballincollig as they matched up on Matthew McCarthy. Nice take, but doesn't fall for Ballincollig, and Sutton picks up the big rebound. McCarthy puts it on the floor, but it's good defense by Ballincollig.
Yeah.
And that's a turnover, so excellent work there by Sean O'Flynn.
And you saw there, you know, Sean just gave a little bit of space there. He played the percentages with Matthew there. Was he going to take the shot? But he played the drive more than he played the shot, and that's just good recognition of the opposition as well by Sean.
And Paul, as someone who coaches around this age group, is that sort of recognition the big development that happens between kind of 18s and 20s, where it's individual skill sets that you're kind of, as you're closing out to someone, that you have to have that quick recognition?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the different types of closeouts. You know, the long closeout, the quick one, the slow one, the recognition of, is he a shooter, is he not a shooter, is he a penetrator or not? And there's probably the differences. Like, obviously you're fairly general up until 16, some tactical stuff as you go on, and then obviously, you know, the higher level stuff as you're at 20 level, and it's layering that and trying to figure those things out is the big thing, you know. So you know, 2 massive rebounds there by Colin Blount. You know, Luke Sutton on one end, you know, and this is the battle of the interior right now, a small bit in one respect, Connor.
Yeah, it's certainly been inside has been where the majority of the action has happened, and Sutton hit another mid-range jump shot, has been excellent so far, but then Blount with the answer.
And Blount has been exceptionally tenacious on the glass so far, you know. So, you know, I think obviously, you know, Ballincollig right now will be looking to have Brendan finish more consistently at the rim. He's at 3 or 4 right now, and just haven't dropped from at the minute.
Cillian O'Connell is getting a break here as Armis Kreminskis checks back into the game. And
Cillian's just coming off a broken arm too, so that's probably one of the reasons you can see him. He's just checking that arm. He's been very unfortunate with injuries over the last year. You know, so he hurt his lower back with the Irish team early on in the Euro Challenge last year, and then obviously came back and broke his arm. So he's been quite unfortunate with some injuries in the last couple of months to a year.
Sutton with the block there. It's hard to overemphasize just how big an impact Sutton has made in this game so far, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, he's just had a nice touch. He's been, you know, he's been very subtle around the rim. He's, you know, and he's just been finding himself in some uncontested areas, which has been fantastic for him. You know, and Sean needs to find his touch because he really is a top-notch shooter, and he hasn't found that range yet. And if he does, he'll cause Demons problems. And this is a young man who hit his first shot of the game, first possession, and we haven't seen a whole lot of him just yet. They're trying to get that shot off again.
It's unusual to see so many left-handed players. The 2 left-handed players, key shooters for Demons so far.
Yeah, and Brendan himself is a lefty as well, so we got 3 on the floor at the minute. Rejection of the ball screen.
Sutton was just a little late over to set the screen. The guard went early, and it's an offensive foul. So we're going to have a timeout on the floor. 26-24, Demons lead, and it's a Ballincollig timeout. So welcome back. 4:48 to go. Demons with a 2-point lead. Paul, we've seen both teams kind of mixing and matching different defenses. We see Demons here again in zone. Both teams making adjustments and just trying to figure each other out. Still a little bit of kind of, not shadow boxing, but a little bit of figuring each other out, see what is working and what they can attack with.
Yeah, and you can see that too. And one of the things I think that Demons are worried about is the impact that Colin Blount has been making. So Jordan's back in, but you definitely see the differentiate thing. I actually think this has been quite, and there he is, and he only needs an inch to get that shot off Ben Horgan. He's top shooter. But I actually think the game has been quite a good game. What's lacked is consistent finishing. I think you take the score line and you do all that. If the scores had went in consistently, I think we'd be talking about a really, really good game. But it's a very good game so far.
Good defense there by Ukva and Horgan. Push the ball in transition.
That's a nice pass.
Good patience there, and we're going to see another three by Horgan. Doesn't fall. Ukva though does a good job getting that board. And Horgan found himself open on the perimeter. He's still open. And back-to-back shots. So Paul, as you said, he hit the first shot of the game, then kind of was out of the offense for a while now. That's three quick shots he's had and knocked down two of them in quick succession.
Yeah. You can see the frustration Shane had there because Jack was holding it at the top of the key. One of my pet peeves of where you stop the ball, but they're trying to get it reversed to Ben quickly, which they eventually did. And that'll please Brendan because he's missed a few around there now, and he's actually a lefty and finished out with the right hand, so it's back to a 5-point game.
Yeah, lovely finish by Delana there. As he flexes as he comes back down the court.
And that's a scheme that Demons have ran quite a bit now, is that baseline stagger off the cut.
Yeah, Jack O'Leary looked for a no-look pass, didn't come off. Kaminskis for three, a response. It was offline from the start, but Jordan Blount saves it back in. Horgan has the ball in transition though. He's going to pull up. Doesn't go. Rebound there by McCarthy.
And that's the one thing, that Armis there, he had no rhythm. He stopped the rhythm of the shot, and that's.
Ukva doesn't get it. Tough shot.
Solid defense by Ballincollig there, stood tall.
It's concern there that Demons picked up concern from a Ballincollig point of view that that's 3 offensive rebounds. It's a long defense, ends up in a foul, but for Ballincollig, is there a concern that they're giving up quite a few offensive rebounds?
I think other than that possession, I think they've rebounded relatively okay. So I don't think that's a massive concern. Obviously, there's going to be some points in the game where that happens, and you just gotta suck it up and go with it. As long as it doesn't become a second and third situation for further down the game. But they haven't given up a whole lot of rebounds really. I think the big concern right now is for Ballincollig is everything they get close. Demons have an answer right now. That's better rhythm.
Ends up just short again though, and this time he gets his floater, and again short. Ukva with the rebound. Matthew McCarthy pushed the ball in transition, finds Horgan, who hits another three. You just can't give him an inch. Like, that has to be a belly up. You gotta make Ben put the ball on the floor. I mean, you just cannot give him an inch. So 34-26 so far. Ben Horgan having a massive impact, but there's an answer from Colin Blount, who knocks down 2. And it's starting to get the scoring rates kind of increasing here, Paul, but 1:07 to go. Horgan gets the ball again. McCarthy puts the ball on the floor, finds Ukva underneath the basket. Good job by Blount bodying him up. And it's another offensive rebound though. Sutton ends up with the ball. McCarthy for 3. And that's a big 3 for Matthew McCarthy. And all of a sudden, it's from the perimeter, Paul. That's the third or fourth 3 of this quarter.
Yeah, and Demons have, Ballincollig did a good job blocking up the lane, and now Demons have reacted by hitting some threes. But they've got, Colin Blount is keeping Ballincollig in touching distance here. But they need more now. They need more than just Colm, and they need more defensive. And belling up now on Ben Horgan to not let him get an advantage and play 4v4 maybe in other spots is huge. And that's even too much. That's even too much. You know.
Yeah, so 37-30, Ballincollig have the ball, 13 seconds to go. Is there a response from Ballincollig? It ends up in a travel, which is a big potential momentum shift here. As we see a timeout from Demons, 9 seconds to go in this half. They lead by 7, 37-30. We'll be back in just a moment. So welcome back, 9.2 seconds to go here in what's been an entertaining first half in the first of the InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup semi-finals. Blue Demons lead Ballincollig 37-30. Ballincollig in a man-to-man defence for this last 9.2 seconds. Jack O'Leary has the ball. We'll see what he can do. If he can create, he puts it on the floor and draws a foul. But and it's judged a shooting foul as well. So
yeah, I think you lost control just on the halfway line, and it's one thing that we really try to emphasize, the catch-up step. So when you know you're beat, forget the step slide. I mean that's done now at this point. You know, where are you getting to, where are you getting back in front? And as you saw, Hugh just lifted, his hips went in the jack, and he lost control and never got back in a position after that. So he just lost it slightly at the halfway line, but was pretty good up at that point.
O'Leary hits the first free throw. I think this is his 7th and 8th free throw of the game, so he knocks them both down. It's a 9-point lead. Suddenly Blount inbounds the ball, it's stolen, and a 3 on the buzzer. It's no good. So at the end of the first half, UCC Demons lead Ballincollig 39-30 in the InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup final, or Cup semi-final. We'll be back in 10 minutes time. So welcome back to the InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup semi-final. UCC Demons leading Ballincollig 39-30, top scores in that first half. Colin Blount for Ballincollig with 15, Ben Horgan with 13. Paul, those couple of threes in a row for Ballincollig, they kind of had a big scoring burst in that second quarter. That's kind of been the difference between the two teams.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see now, right off the bat, Demons are setting their ball screens a bit higher. That's a nice run out. I was going to say, like, I think we're at a point now where there's a sense of urgency. If Demons get that same run again, the game could be beyond Ballincollig's reach. So I think Ballincollig now need to go for it. That means the tempo is going to increase. That might fall into Demons' hands a small bit. But it's all about the transition defense now, I think, of both teams. And if they can get themselves set up into a situation where they can create a half-court defensive setup as opposed to anything like that. So I think the team that can get there might be the team that might come out on top.
Murphy had 6 points in that second quarter, the only player other than Blount to score in the second quarter for Ballincollig, and he misses both free throws, so you're trailing by 9. Paul, leaving those sort of points behind is difficult.
Yeah, points on the rim is one of the most frustrating things for any team as well, but you know, so Hughes' defense, as we identified early, is after stepping up a notch so far.
The travel there by Jack O'Leary. Paul would probably argue a 0 step or something, but
I never argued in my life.
Blount at the high post. Murphy puts on the deck.
Nice reversal. And there he is. That's the one now for, and Ballincollig seeing that go in will give them a little sense of ease, because that's the one that they were looking for the entire game.
Sean O'Flynn, one of the co-captains for Ballincollig, knocking down that three, just the second three of the game for Ballincollig. Blount does a great job stepping up.
Yeah.
But the ball somehow comes back to Demons. Leif doesn't go, and it's again Ballincollig ball. You can see the Ballincollig crowd getting into it as they push the ball down to Murphy.
And a bit of fight there as well, which they'll be happy with. And then the long closeout. Another guy that just only needs an inch or two. But in that last 1-3-1 zone defense, you saw the movement of Colin Blount just squashing the space and taking away the momentum space from Jack. So Sutton again being influential as ever.
Yeah, Ukwa misses and Sutton picks up the loose ball, and when a bit of momentum going Ballincollig's way, cheap points for Demons who have picked up. Tough shot. Murphy picks up the rebound, but Sutton does a good job contesting it underneath the boards. So still an 8-point lead. You can tell though, a shot or two goes down for Ballincollig, it could lead to a lot of momentum and get them back into this game quickly.
No question. I would like to see them play with a little bit more tempo, but that's just my own bias. I think I like a bit more tempo, but you know, you can see they're really trying to get the right guys on the ball, considering that the consistency of the finishing in the first half wasn't there. So they're trying to get the right guys on the ball to get those shots.
It's going to be Ballincollig ball. A deflection, so it's a baseline inbounds. Demons in a zone defense here. Blount at the elbow, it misses. Sutton does a good job knocking it out to Horgan. He's going to push the ball down the wing. Tough floater, doesn't fall, but
and Demons winning a ton of loose balls now.
McCarthy does a good job getting on the floor. Nice move.
So deflection.
Jordan Ukwa gets it deflected, but it's going to remain Demons ball. Jack O'Leary is going to have the inbound here as Ballincollig are in zone. Baseline pass to Horgan. And a big three.
Huge.
Paul, it's frustrating when you have a shooter on the other team and on an inbound play that it's given up to that corner. Kaminskas tries to answer and it doesn't go. Sutton with the rebound. And it's that Ben Horgan shooting from the outside that's been the difference between the two teams.
Massive difference so far. And we identified that early.
And that's a huge move by Matthew McCarthy. Puts it on the deck, gets to the basket, and finishes a potential 3-point play. So, Paul, only 2 minutes ago, on the back of that three-pointer for Ballincollig. It looked like momentum was shifting, and then it's been a really really good response by a young Blue Demons team to be able to respond to that early kind of challenge.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the floor right now, I mean, that's not the young part of it. They're experienced enough. I mean, Matthew is a natural 20. You know, Jack the same. Jordan, Luke, Sutton, they're all the same. Like Ben is probably the under 17 that's on the floor right now, and he's done a remarkable job just getting to open space. And when you're a shooter like that, you need to have trust from your teammates to get you the ball, and you also need to have trust to hold position for them to get you the ball. So it's a two-way thing. It's a passer and a receiver thing. But right now,
the Demons push it down in transition. McCarthy finds Horgan. He finds Uka in the short corner. Puts it on the deck, but a good contest. And Killian O'Connell's going to push it in transition himself. Gets all the way to the basket, but a foul is called. I think for the first time in history, the Demons fans disagree with a referee's call.
I'm just focusing on the styles of play right now, to be honest, Connor.
So O'Connell is going to head to the free throw line. It's a 14-point game, 6:31 to go. Jake Orgy
coming in for Jordan Luca. Is that Jordan's third or fourth?
I didn't see the time officials raise it, but he definitely had two early, so O'Connell knocks down the free throw. So 13-point game. Paul, over the course of the weekend, we've seen lots of big swings, big runs from different teams. This Ballincollig team are definitely not dead and buried, but they have to find a way to kind of get some consistent offense soon. Yeah,
we kind of identified before that we just needed to, it was a run from Demons that might blow the game open, and they kind of have that now. It's up to a 13-point lead. Ballincollig need to find a run quickly.
Matthew McCarthy heading to the free throw line, leading by 13. And it is, just checking the scoreboard here in the arena, it is a third foul on Jordan Uka. Free throw ends up short, so it's a 14-point lead. 48-34. UCC Demons lead Ballincollig in the first of the under-20 InsureMyHouse.ie National Cup semi-finals. Good contest inside. Demons have done a good job crowding that paint once the ball gets inside for Ballincollig.
Yeah, and there's the craftiness of Jack again. That inside out, change direction, and that's Luke Sutton's spot right there, where they have him cemented there to a certain degree in that short corner.
O'Leary and McCarthy. Oh, we have a timeout on the floor, so we'll come back to that in just a moment. 48-34. We'll be back in just a moment. So welcome back. 48-34, 6:03 to go in the third quarter. Sutton at the free throw line trying to extend the lead. Demons currently lead by 14. He's short on the first free throw. Paul, you've two of your former players coaching this Ballincollig team, Daniel and Kieran O'Sullivan. What sort of message in that timeout do you think that they'd be kind of trying to get across their group? They're now trailing by 15. They need to, something needs to happen. Something needs to change to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, I think they'll probably look for tempo and obviously defensive stops to allow them to get to that tempo. The issue right now is that they're slow getting the ball out because the fact that teams are scoring or getting to the free throw line. And that's, they need Killian. Killian can really go on a spurt here now. So, very talented young man, good finisher at the rim. They need to get more from him. But it's the defensive, and not letting Demons get to the line or score that would let Ballincollig get those runouts, which we saw the first 60 to 90 seconds in the second half.
It's a 1-3-1 defense here from Ballincollig. Good defense so far. Tough step back three, and a short. That's a good stop there by Ballincollig. Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but they need to. What needs to happen now is they're dead again now. So it's a dead turn. It's a dead shot right now, which means Demons can set their defense up. Ballincollig want to get to a situation where that defense isn't getting set up.
Yeah, we saw it in the Women's Super League game yesterday. DCU Mercy had, I think it was 33 turnovers, and yet still won the game because so many of them were dead ball turnovers where it wasn't leading to fast break points. But here we have a turnover, and it looks like it's going to lead to 2 fast break points. Good contest. Goaltend potentially after hitting the board.
So we spoke earlier about interpretation rules in basketball, and right now that's a big one. Is that the ball has to have a chance of going in, and that's an interpretation of the referee from their positioning. Is the ball going in? Is it not going in? You might think it is, I might think it's not. So that's that interpretation where it's people get frustrated. I think we need to get to a situation where we're going back to black and white situation with the calls. But the interpretation right now of is he there on time? Is he not there on time? Basket off the rim. So you can actually tap the backboard once it hits the rim.
I can't.
But these are the things that we have to start learning, and they're changing every single year, and people aren't keeping up to the speed of the interpretation changes on a biannual situation, and that's what's causing a lot of frustration in games.
What I'm hearing from you is that we need to get rid of the 0 step.
I actually quite like the 0 step. It's actually eliminated an awful lot. Well, at the European level, it's eliminated an awful lot of the stationary travels. But even the half-court rule, that's changed about 8 years, and we still have people arguing that we step back off the halfway line calling for a half-court violation, and they don't realise it's the 3-point contact that needs to be over, not one. So they're the sort of things I think we need to do a better job of understanding from our game to cause less frustration for staffs, referees and players.
Great job by Sutton. A good body up, and it leads to a travel. Sure, half the fun is arguing with referees. It's the whole reason we play the game.
I never enjoyed arguing with referees.
So 51-36, 4:24 to go in the third quarter here. So far, for Demons, the combination of Matthew McCarthy and Jack O'Leary are causing a lot of problems, getting in the lane, the dribble, and that's a huge three.
Huge tee from Jake. I would describe Jake as your Ben Wallace. That's an outlier now for Jake, but a big three that helps Demons obviously.
A response there by Blount, and he finishes well inside, but Ballincollig need to find offense from someone else to bounce out. Collins' contributions.
I think from Ballincollig perspective, they need to try and find a situation to get this under 10. If they can get this under 10, they'll have a little bit of rhythm from an offensive and defensive perspective going in. So if they can get this under 10 going into the fourth, I think they'll be much happier.
Currently a 16-point game, 3:42 to go. In the InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup semi-final, as you said. Here's O'Connell for three, and that's a big three from Ballincollig. So back to a 13-point game.
And that can change the momentum very quickly now if Ballincollig can latch onto that. Nice movement, rotation by Colin Blount.
Good work there by Brendan Delana. Got fouled but pushed the ball in transition, and he's going to head to the free throw line. 13-point game at the moment. Ballincollig crowd getting into it.
Yeah, I think when your team is down, they do need some energy from somewhere, and it's okay for the crowd to get into it and give that bit of energy and that burst, and that might cause a little bit of rhythm. Often
the challenge in these sort of cup weekends is when there's a crowd that people aren't as used to playing in front of. You see people searching for that home run play oftentimes, but at the same time it does give you that impetus to, when things are going well, it's a huge lift, especially for young guys. It can be a big momentum creator if the crowd are there behind you.
Okay, so it's back to 12, and now the goal changes. I mean, Ballincollig might look to get it to 8 now.
And a good reach in there.
Good deflection by Hugh Murphy. Defense is cranked up by Ballincollig. They're stunting on the ball and off it.
Good job by O'Connell, gets his hand in. Cuff puts it on the
nice
deck.
Rotation by Colin Blount. Colin Blount has had 2 lovely rotations with the heels outside the lane in the last 2 defensive possessions now. And that's really taken away Demons' ability to get skipped past from strong side to weak side.
Oh, cheap back door though, and it's going to be a goaltend. Colin went to contest it, and just the way he was coming across, his hand ended up getting caught up in the net. So back to a 14-point lead. Ballincollig's defensive intensity though has definitely increased. They're putting more pressure on the ball. Murphy drives to the basket, finds Dulana. The left-hand finish doesn't go, but it comes back out to O'Connell. He puts the ball on the floor, it goes through contact, doesn't fall. Murphy comes back again and he gets the offensive rebound. 3 big offensive rebounds, and suddenly the intensity on defense has increased from Ballincollig, and some of those loose balls are starting to fall their way.
But they're also releasing the ball, and they're finding more uncontested space as well. So like, Demons aren't getting to every catch the way they did earlier in the quarter, and that's a huge advantage now for Ballincollig. So now they're taking away that momentum space on defense, and they're creating that momentum space on the offensive end.
First free throw is good for Murphy. So 13-point game, 2:33 to go in the third quarter here. Hugh Murphy has been that most consistent second scorer behind Blount for Ballincollig. So back to 12-point game, 2:30 to go in the third quarter. A lot of momentum with Ballincollig at the moment. They need to find ways to get stops though. It's a really good take there by Jake Orgy. Good patience by the big man. He made his move and went to the basket strong. He's had a big impact in this third quarter.
Yeah, he's really fed off the energy of making that 3 a while ago.
We have a 4th foul. Just trying to see who that foul was on. Potentially
Colin Blount, yeah.
Yeah, which is a huge momentum shifter as well as.
Well, he's brought so much tenacity to both ends of the floor for Ballincollig, and he'll be a massive loss now for the much time he'll be off the floor.
Don't think you can be a Blount and be on the floor without bringing a whirlwind of tenacity. So he's going to check out of the game. They trail by 14. So leading scorer for Ballincollig heads to the bench. They trail by 14, 2:16 to go. They had a little bit of momentum. Can they eat into this lead, try and get to that 10 points that Paul talked about? Dulana gets it up to Murphy, drives into the basket. A 3-pointer from the top, and it's short. And you could see there on that defense, Demons were almost not even leaving the key. They were just packing it completely in and daring Ballincollig to try and beat them from the outside.
And they're still using that tactic as well, whether it's the zone defense, 1-3-1, or whether it's a man-to-man defense, still the same tactic. And there's that stagger again, and they've gotten that high-low quite a bit.
Yeah, Luke Sutton had good position, just doesn't fall. Killian O'Connell puts it on the floor, but it leads to a turnover. Orgy gets the ball. Jack O'Leary now controls the game, and between Matthew McCarthy and Jack O'Leary, 2 very good guards for Demons, and it's hard to chase a game where you have guards able to control the ball. But a charge is called there.
Yeah, I thought that was a good call. I mean, he dropped his shoulder there. He went straight through him. You know, I thought that was a good call.
Yeah.
And brave play by Killian too.
Yeah, he
brave
put his body on the line,
yeah.
And we have a substitution there as Ben Horgan comes back into the game for Matthew McCarthy. So what we've seen from Horgan, as I said, a younger player, but has almost been big bursts from him rather than kind of consistent throughout the game. We've seen him being able to have big influence, but in kind of 3 or 4 minute spells, and then kind of comes back out of the game a little bit and then back into it.
Yeah, I mean, Demons went to him early. He made a couple of shots. went away from him, went to him again, and then he made a couple, missed a couple, and they went away from him, and I'm anticipating they'll go back to him at some point again. Back in the 1-3-1.
O'Connell, tough backdoor pass, and I think Ballincollig have hit 2 threes so far in this game, and if they're going to get back into this game, that 14-point deficit, they're going to have to find some outside shooting to get Demons out of this kind of packed defense. But it's a turnover, so 14-point lead. This is a big minute here. Colin Blount on the bench for Ballincollig. 14-point lead, Demons with the ball. Paul, it could be huge, the difference between a 10-point game and an 18-point game in this next minute.
Well, both teams are going to get 2 possessions at some point in this. How they handle those 2 possessions each is going to be determine how the fourth quarter starts and finishes. There's that one footed again by Jack. So hard to guard that in the lefty.
A lot of guards don't have that shot. Dirk Nowitzki, one legger. A 3-point response from Ballincollig, and that's a huge response by number 9, Sean O'Flynn, his second 3 of the game. So back to a 13-point game. Demons have the ball. We'll see what O'Leary can do here. He's going to eat into his 6 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. 8 on the shot clock currently, 14 on the game clock. It's a steal though for Murphy. And
there's your Murphy, 2 possessions each.
Yeah, there's the big, and we have Cuff with the ball. 2 seconds to go. RG with a mid-range 2 to finish the.
Oh, huge!
Yeah, huge momentum shifted by RG there. Demons had big questions being asked them. The lead was back to 11, and a big shot there by RG to finish the third quarter. So it's 62-49 at the end of the third. We'll be back in just a moment. So welcome back. 62-49. Jake Orgy with that big 2 on the buzzer has given a 13-point lead to Demons. Colin Blount checking back into the game. Probably the right call there. No point in having him on the bench with 4 fouls if you're dead.
And there's Killian, another 3 now. So there are 2 3-point shooters, Sean Flynn and Killian. And this is the complete opposite of how it went out in the local league game. Ballincollig had this lead with Demons coming back, and now it's Demons with the lead, and can Ballincollig come back? Oh, nice
tough
little idea.
Yeah, nice idea, but a tough pass, and it's a turnover. So Ballincollig have an opportunity to make it a single-digit game here.
So Jordan coming back in the game. So teams are running like a mashup kind of boxing 1, 2-1-2 what are they running? It's Jack is in the middle and then he's sprinting out to wherever it is. So we don't know is the box in one sprint or what's going on here. But now it's starting in a 2-1-2. Jack is orchestrating where everybody's going.
Nice pass by O'Connell.
Nope.
It was a great look for Ballincollig, and if they can consistently get those sort of looks, they have a good chance of eating into this. Good defense there by Ballincollig. It's a big shot for O'Leary. Doesn't fall. Great
nice
rebound by
Cuff. Just like his dad used to it.
And Patience as well. Gets out to the free throw line and ends up with a big shot there to give back to 12-point lead. So see if we can get a response. Colin Blount for 3. And that's a big three.
That's a 2.
Oh, big 2.
Yep.
He did. I had to just trust his celebration though as a 3. I don't think anyone's hit a 3 in this game without celebrating, which fair play to them.
Nice rebound by Cullen again. Big man being able to handle it. Don't go out of control.
Yeah, and
he's done.
Yeah,
he's
that's
done.
the end of Colum's involvement of the day. The second big play there in a row by Darryl Cuff. Steps in front of Ballincollig's number 13. And that will be the end of Ballincollig's leading scorer on the day. Colin Blount, I think he ended up with 20. It was either 18 or 20, but that will be the end of his day. So, 10-point game. Ballincollig have to find a way to get back into this. 8:23 to go in the fourth quarter here. Darryl Cuff with the ball.
So Demons might just have a slight advantage, and they've run that high-low. That's been the staple of what they've been doing since the beginning, whether it's Sutton or whether it's Jordan. That they've been looking for that high-low from the baseline stagger each time.
Yeah, nice finish there, and Nana with a nice pass to Murphy. 2 big bodies around him though. He's going to have to find a way to get it out to the perimeter. He does. O'Connell puts it on the floor. Tough move. O'Leary tries to save the ball, but it's not going to.
Yeah, he's the O'Learys have a habit of having some highlights like that. You know, Daniel in a certain European Championships off the back. You know, for a layup. He did it himself last year. Hit off a defender's back. Hit out to Reese Barry for a 3. So they have a habit of it.
So Ballincollig with the ball here. 4 on the shot clock, and it ends up as a turnover. So 12-point game. So far, Demons have managed to weather every storm. That every time the questions have been asked them, they've had some sort of response each time.
Yeah, and they're just forcing Ballincollig into an extra pass each time, and outside of the couple of threes early, you know, Ballincollig was just taking out one extra dribble each time. And there's the gunner again.
Yeah, Horgan hits that 3, but all made by Jack O'Leary, getting in the lane, kicking it back out, found his shooter. Nice pass inside, and Murphy with an answer on the far end. So 56 plays 69, 7:09 to go in this fourth quarter. The first the under-20 InsureMyHouse.ie National Cup semi-finals.
And Demons have just managed to keep it over that 10-point. And Brendan finally fronting the post against Jordan, and Demons have to go to do something else. But still find a way again to score.
They find the way, and just that big body is able to finish inside. So it's now a 15-point game. The combination of Colin Blount picking up that offensive foul and then a response from Demons, and they've opened it up. And is there one final response from Ballincollig? They can't hit the open 3. And we're at a 15-point game here now. It's very much danger time for Ballincollig.
And like we mentioned 10 points, which is probably maybe what people are looking at for the last couple of years. But with the way the 3-point shot has been taken into the game now, we'd really want to be taking 12 points. That's 4 possessions.
A good steal there. And O'Connell tries to finish, doesn't fall. A lot of contact on both ends, nothing called though. Demons pick up possession. And a foul is eventually called.
You can see Killian really trying to force it, and he just lost his balance and got himself into a situation where he fouled. So
We've a timeout on the floor, so we'll be back with 6:02 to go in this fourth quarter. So 6:02 to go in the fourth quarter of a Cork derby to finish out today, and lovely finish inside by Uka, but a lovely find for him. And Jake Orgy has had a huge impact in the second half, Paul.
Huge impact. You know, I think he's got 7 points now, maybe 8 with free throws. But I think we talk about Demon's ability to hit threes all game. What's allowed that to happen is their absolute relentless ability to find the short corner and play from there on their penetration and get some looks and things like that. Their short corner play has been outstanding the entire game. It's really hurt Ballincollig's defense.
Yeah, Shane McCarthy and Troy O'Mahony will be delighted with what they're seeing there. Free throw doesn't fall, so it's a 15-point game. Got 5:35 to go.
And when you're scoring from 2 spots like that, it's like which one do you guard more, and then which, if you're guarding both, does it create something else? And, you know, and there's a short corner again, that little dump off, and they just kept going on that.
Orgy faked the handoff and finds Uka underneath the basket, and it looks like Demons have an answer for everything that's been asked of them. Different combinations throughout the game, and it's been 4 or 5 different scores for at different stages. Lots of different people have made a big impact. We've had kind of McCarthy and O'Leary having an impact throughout the game. Orgy's had his moments. Ben Horgan has had his moments. Sutton kind of in the first half had his kind of little bunches. So there's been, it's almost by committee. It's not reliant on one person to create their offense.
Yeah, and we spoke about as well with the women's game yesterday with the with NUIG Mystics and Limerick's Sport Huskies. You know, we just felt that NUIG were always in the ascendancy because they had more threats from more spots. You know, and it just today Demons have had more threats from more spots, and that's been a significant difference. Like a 17-point game now with 5 minutes remaining. Ballincollig really need to try and find a run to just put negative thought process in the Demons camp right now, which they've shown signs of, but haven't consistently done that yet.
O'Connell pushed the ball in transition. It's that they've struggled to get out and run because they haven't been able to get stops themselves, and that's been one of the challenges. It's very hard to get out and create momentum when you're not getting stops on the defensive end. So often the energy from one end of the floor carries through to the other end of the floor, Paul.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we come back after a Demons timeout.
So first free throw just short there for Murphy. 4:48 to go, and just can't leave points behind. But Paul, just before that timeout, we were kind of talking about that energy gets carried from one end of the floor to the other. As a coach, you can recognize it, but it's very hard to change.
Yeah, so when a team has momentum, it's the hardest thing in the world to try and stop. But I think also when you look at it, right, it's also like when you're getting easy looks, it puts more confidence into your half-court game because you're not as under pressure to score every single time. And what Demons have done is they've scored so many transition scores and ease. It's put confidence in their defense that if Ballincollig aren't making it, they know they're going to get runouts. So like it does feed from one to the next and go from there. I think that's another fifth foul by Hugh, which is arguably their best defender, you know. So
Colin Keegan checks into the game for the first time. So two very influential players for Ballincollig are now on the bench, fouled out as they have a 16-point deficit and a turnover there.
Yeah, and this is kind of like this lead with this time is actually a very confusing time for any team. Do you run it out? Do you still play the same way? What are you looking to do? Are you just trying to avoid not turning it over? Are you just, you know, turning down good shots to get great shots? All those sort of things are coming into the thought process right now.
It's a good long offense. There's one of the things Glenmire on Friday evening were able to just kill the game when you have experienced guards like Anya McKenna. They were able to kill the game, but O'Connell here for a big three. It's just not going to fall, and go out with the rebound, and Jack O'Leary's going to walk the ball up the floor.
And now Shane McCarthy has actually made that decision, and he's telling everybody to slow it down and run the 4-24.
And long offenses, and a foul from Ballincollig. So 16-point game, 3:48 to go. As we said, this is the first of two semi-finals. The second semi-final will be UCD Marion versus KCYMS Clorglan. Marion lost the 2020 under-20 cup final to Moycullen, so they'll be looking to go one step further. Clorglan, I think it's their second under-20 National Cup semi-final in the last 5 years. Doesn't go.
So I think Ballincollig from their last couple of defense possessions are going to try and make Demons win this from the line and hopefully try and stop the clock a little bit and try and do that.
Yeah, nice three from the corner.
So it's back to 14.
A 14-point game. And Dulana does a good job getting his hand in, but ends up fouling. And it's a team foul situation for Ballincollig, so any foul is going to lead to 2 free throws. We've subs as Cuff checks back into the game for Horgan. Jordan Uka on the free throw line, 14-point lead. Chance to extend it. He's short with the first free throw though.
They're 0 for 3. Maybe this is, as I said, Ballincollig will just
Academons.
might do a hack of Demons here now, but there's plenty of time that if they keep missing free throws, not putting the ball in the basket, and they score on the other end, when it gets to the last minute, they could be right there. So
we also saw it yesterday in the DCU Mercy game. It was a 10-point lead with a minute to go, and yet Wildcats had a shot to tie the game at the end. Cuff head fake, puts it on the floor.
Yeah,
O'Leary was he was stepping out of bounds, and he stepped back in, but
which isn't illegal. It's just that he's got to have his 2 feet on the floor before he catches it. So he was nearly there.
Unless he does the 0 step, which negates all of the rules in basketball, and he can do what he wants.
Not the least.
So a steal there by Uka. And he gets it back to McCarthy, who settles the ball down. Rinskus all over him, and that's going to be a trip back to the free throw line. So 2:47 to go in this InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup semi-final. UCC Demons look set to return to the Under-20 final for the first time in a number of years.
Yeah, and I'm only assuming the way it's done here, but all those fouls will come between 10 and 14 seconds on the shot clock. So whether that's a specific thing. I'm just looking at tendencies. I'm not saying that's what Ballincollig are looking to do. I'm just looking at the tendencies from the last couple of possessions right now.
Another missed free throw there by Demons. Nice spin move to the basket, just doesn't fall though, and O'Leary picks up the rebound. Nice pass to Uka. He gets it back to O'Leary. McCarthy in the corner, drives baseline. Does a good job getting back to the middle, but can't finish. O'Connell's going to push the ball in transition. 15-point game. Ballincollig need a response quickly. O'Connell's going to shoot a three from way downtown. Doesn't fall. Uka with the rebound. O'Leary kind of settles the team back down. Gets it to McCarthy. Aggressive defense by Ballincollig. Is it going to be a free throw? Yes, it is. So McCarthy gets fouled. He's going to head to the free throw line. 2:09 to go. It's been an impressive display overall by Demons today, Paul.
Yeah, knowing when to attack, when to hold back, when to run their schemes, all that sort of stuff. They've done a pretty good job with it, to be fair.
So first free throw doesn't go. So I think that's 5 of the last 6 that they've missed.
I would say 6 of the last 7.
There you go. But that one's good.
And that's where I think Ballincollig probably just haven't punished them for whatever tactic they're trying to do right now. But I think they've struggled to put the ball in the basket most of the day.
Good defense there by O'Leary, and it's a jump ball, and it's going to be Demons ball. So every time there has been questions asked of this Demons team, they've found a way to respond.
Yeah, and this under-20 team I think will be around the next 2 years. I'm not sure if Luke Sutton is overage next year or Jordan, but the majority of the squad will be here for because Jack is not under 19. Matthew McCarthy is under 19.
All guys who obviously would have had an opportunity to win an under-18 National Cup last year, but we obviously didn't have that competition. But it looks like they're going to have an opportunity in 2 weeks' time in Dublin. As Darryl Cuff has had a number of just like important plays. He had that charge that he picked up, a couple of rebounds, some smart plays, doing all the little things.
And they all add up, don't they? I mean, it's like if everybody chips in with 1 or 2 plays, it just all adds up.
There's a shot clock violation, but at this stage of the game with a 16-point lead, the shot clock violation is fine from a Demons perspective. O'Connell brings the ball down the court. Delana puts the ball on the floor, but stolen away by O'Leary. Finds McCarthy. Good. A contest, and that's exactly the rule that we were talking about there. That earlier on, O'Connell tried to block it, but it's ruled as a goaltend. It didn't look from our perspective, well, from my perspective here, that it was going in.
I actually think he got it before it hit the glass. So it's got to hit the glass. Once it hits the glass, you can't touch the ball until it hits the rim. And then you can block, obviously, before it hits the glass. So I just thought he got it before the glass. Look, I think it's an irrelevant point at this stage of the game, to be honest.
Definitely. So 80-62, 51 seconds to go. UCC Demons are going to be in the National Cup final in 2 weeks' time. We've got some excellent matchups to look forward to already, including Neptune versus Garvis Tralee Warriors in the Super League, DCU Mercy versus Glanmire. A lot of Cork representation.
Yeah, and that team, that Glanmire and DCU, we've seen that battle like a bunch of times over the last 10-15 years.
Yep. So Ballincollig tried to drive to the basket. They do get a basket inside. So it's 80-64. We're going to have subs for Demons. As Cian O'Callaghan checks into the game. But overall, a fair result here. Demons were the better team throughout. They had kind of a lot of different answers to every question that was asked of them.
Yeah, they definitely scored the ball better. So probably deserving on the day.
So that's the end of the first InsureMyHouse.ie Under-20 National Cup semi-final. As you said, UCC Demons come out on top and book their place in the National Cup final in 2 weeks' time. We're going to find out who they play in this next game at 12 o'clock as UCD Marion play KCYMS Clorglan in the second semi-final, the last game of what has been a fantastic weekend of basketball. Paul, thank you for joining us in commentary, and thank you for joining us and watching. And we'll be back with you at 12 o'clock for the next game.